Retro.
Canaanland more, mind elevation. Canaanland more, mind elevation. Canaanland more, mind elevation. We're there, Canaanland more, mind elevation. Bench 500 pounds of knowledge. My mental squad keep my mind kick strong at mental devil's back. Never heard of them, they like to test the weak minds. Yellow journalists propaganda like a slow grind. They dicks hard with screens, Chinese cracking women's skulls, fighting in the women's league. We told you there's an agenda you wanna believe, no faith, fruition falls like a leaf. To raise your mind state, you can't take a leave. No purple drinks or molded dispensary weed. Buckle down, create a library. Blacks don't read, learn how to study. Open chakras, watch your nose bleed. High at the feet of metaphysical masters. Young L man book before those podcasters. Mind waves extend, I'm my own broadcaster. Pick up the low vibes of you fraud pastors. Canaanland Moors, mind elevation, you know. Canaanland Moors, mind elevation, know how we do. Canaanland Moors, mind elevation. Canaanland Moors. I say I want to do better. They laugh at me. Say I want my own sweater. They act at me. Stuck my arm in it all caps. That's not me. I got an appellation. When they mad at me, they call it slave out. Looking straight right at me. Say the people know the real me. They backstab me. Use an ex-con that's charged 7 counts. I feel though. Mine was a gutter from the gully I was born. Seen told not to worry. Everything is right is wrong. Everything is wrong is right. Mine thought it was cool, playing me for a fool, sending me to bed school. Neither was a tool, like using it for a pool stick. I feel pound, drown, sound so acoustic. There goes the Mennonite, called them to prove it. Canaanland Moors, mind elevation, you know. Canaanland Moors, mind elevation, know how we do. Canaanland Moors, mind elevation. Canaanland Moors,
Retro.
I'm a Moor, some call me Saracen, some Muslim. Europe had some dark age issues, I solved them. Using more science, I'm stating the obvious. Rapper drone stepped up from Kush to Molly blunts. Unawakened, unconscious, unaware Moors won't accept the fact, plus he looked up like a Moor. Moors the custodian of Kemetic Nubians, carrying the marvelous light, the path Negroes to Nubians, saying I'm a Moor, not colored or black. I'm a Moor, Seti or Enki, they can't change that, cause I know their hands don't extend past Allah's wisdom. I'm a Moor, no doubt a contradiction. Return to my own vine and fig tree. Nationality, a mind frame if you with me. Reclaim your ancestral mind and shout.
I'm a boy. Red flares, black tags, elders of my class, not black or Indian. I repeat, I'm a boy. Indigenous to the farthest west. Say we were great, still they say we the best. Hear what I say, I'm a boy. Yes, it's true, if not for Drew, I leave. Most of y'all would have still been asleep. Now you can tell I'm a boy. Than you could ever wish you thought you would be. 3 centuries deep in more science I read. Study, I'm a boy.
Rope on a peg, stuck in the shore. Oceanographic device anchored to sea floors. Goldfish of China and Japan. Veil-tail variety, brushing the cold water plants. Stretches of land, jungles over sand loans. Reptilian species and amphibians homes. Defending Drew Ali, that's my mission. To put securely in place or desired position. Ancestral mindset, not thinking like the hybrids. Can't hide from a 10, so they mess with the climate. Mess with the mind, mess with the food, get violent about more subjugation. Your black leaders are quiet, signed on to King Alfred, but they want you to riot. Pushing dogma as religion and want you to buy it. Most never do it, but they want you to try it. Too many have knowledge of self on the shelves and won't apply it.
I'm a boy. Red flares, black tags, elders of my class, not black or Indian. I repeat, I'm a boy. Indigenous to the farthest west. Say we were great, still they say we the best. Hear what I say, I'm a boy. Yes, it's true, if not for Drew, I leave. Most of y'all would have still been asleep. Now you can tell I'm a boy. Than you could ever wish you thought you would be. 3 centuries deep in more science I read. Study, I'm a boy.
Yeah. You know, we seek that higher knowledge. Only the ignorant can't relate. We just kill them with love instead of hate. That's what it's about.
We are Moors.
Shout out to the grass shake, Cujo L, Iron Shake. Yeah.
We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snap back, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Blue, white, green flares, not just red. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Keep talking reckless and moves for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a Moor head.
We are more. 20 more rockin', you could call them Moroccans. Race COS at depth, let's get it poppin'. Got a problem with my G? Got a problem with me. I be on the front line rolling, 23 deep. I be studying for hours, 7 days a week, working on my higher self, cause the devil don't sleep. Big ups to Cujo L, that's the Iron Sheep. 7's up, facing the east, praising Allah. Astrology, cosmology, that's the real law. I slow roast ya, master the flame like Zoe Roaster. The rise of the new Moors, old heads move over. That Kundalini energy rising up like a cobra. This is training day, mount up with real soldiers. Elevate beyond the hate and claim your lost estate. The only reason you hate is you too blind to relate. The only reason you hate is you too blind to relate.
We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snap back, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said?
I don't rock a hat, just a turban, no affairs. We are Moors.
Heard what I said? Keep talking reckless and move these for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a more head. Stop talking crazy. You can't be everything but Moors. That's like willing to stay minority and not mature. Therefore, Tosh to be gay taught the world don't respect you. However, since you wanna be it, you go down when they fall. They, the ones you call government, that's really a corpse. Black man news funeral director should make sense, of course. Music is the food and the message, the medicine. Mumble food is poison. I'm with the golden era veterans like Mark D. Condolences, QB, RIP Prodigy, who studied the history of the Moors and etymology. You missed the Corsica headband, disguised as a bandana. Moorish MC, the real Moroccan, not a French Montana. Kendrick Lamar, you Sarai, trust me, Hebrew's a language. Lupe put Moors in this video, made the point vantage. Yassine Bey knows Sabebe, knows Moorish master MC. Fuqan Bey and Daddy IU are on some Moorish degrees. Sprague and Bojuno, they even killed Peter because of Macintosh. Still visit digable planets, hip-hop astronauts. Milky Way flow, rays of tassels, blind unbelievers. To higher than other senses, to still pick up the frequency. Pick your addiction, truth will still make itself known. To go platinum now, you gotta give up more plus your soul. Large professor built pyramids, I watch Drink Champ steady. Cause Nori said you are on a track, so call me petty. Also more exec produced the War Report album. Aboriginal Super Cat taught me how to hang and scalp them. Operation Lockdown, video feathers like a sailor do. Initiate invasions, activate at doors every spook. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snap back, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Blue, white, green fairs, not just red. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Keep talking reckless and movies for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a more head. We are Moors. We are Moors. You heard what I said? You heard what I said? We are Moors. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. If anybody's looking, that's all. willofollah.com. Don't forget that we are Moors. Don't ever forget. So before we start, I just wanted to set the perfect intro, just because certain people is forever going to be the man, because what he dropped, nobody could walk in those shoes. So we're just going to go to chapter 4 of what they call the Red Book, which the Red Book is the mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood. And this is supposed to be strictly reserved for the attic chamber only, because when you go up in your degrees, then you get a higher degree book. Instead of these Moors just giving these out with the Quran too, they're going to play games with what Noble Drew Ali brought. And I know, because I'm an attic chamber. So I'm telling you, you claim your nationality by thinking, but just keep your question. We'll get to you. So this book, now there's also conspiracy theories that, certain other Moors are the ones who really put this book out or whatever, but we already know people have been jealous of his fame and nobility. He said that. People around during his time knew that he was the man. Everybody knew Noble Drew Ali was the man in Chicago in the 1920s. Everybody knew he was the man. But people are playing games with you today. Like he was some religious whatever with some temples in different states, and then that's just your limited perspective of what Noble Drew Ali brought. That's it. He just came and he just did some temples and that's it. Nothing else. He didn't do anything else. And if he did other things, Where's the stuff that he did back then today? Just like how Woolworth could say 200 years we've been around. What's up? Who was playing around with the stuff? Somebody was playing around. And whatever it is, whatever goes down, these people sold you out. Been had lessons for years, held out on you, just because you got to go through the degrees or whatever. That's lodge stuff. That's masonry stuff that has to do with Prince Hall and all that stuff. That's not Moorish or whatever. So one of the points that we had to deal with today were, once again, letting the Hebrew Israelite, Yahweh, whatever people know. Don't play around talking crazy about Moors. Street corner yelling stuff. Don't record certain things and leave things out and stuff like that, playing games. Right? Don't even put more in the title of the thing, and your whole thing, you're talking crazy about Moors, causing confusion, just like Noble Drew Ali said dirty Moors are gonna do. So we'll put it on the record that it's not just us who know that the people playing Hebrew whatever sold out. We're gonna go to the Adak book. So you can't say it was us that told you. Right? And bear with me, because we're just going to go through all of it. I was going to read a section, but might as well go through all of it to stress the point. So chapter 4. Joshua talks with the rabbi of the 10 Commandments. Now Rabbi Barachia of Nazareth and Joshua, the son of Joseph and Mary, Rabbi was aid in teaching the son. One morning after service in the temple, Joshua, as he sat in silent thought, Rabbi said to Joshua, "Which is the greatest of the 10 Commandments?" And Joshua said, "I do not see the greatest of the 10 Commandments. I see a gold cord that runs through all 10 Commandments, that fasten makes them one. This cord is love, and it belongs to every word of all the 10 Commandments. If one is full of love, he can do nothing else but worship Allah, for Allah is love. If one is full of love, he cannot kill. He cannot falsely testify. He cannot covet. He can do naught but honor Allah and man. If one is full of love, he does not need commandments of any kind." The Rabbi Barachia said, "Your words are seasoned with the salt of wisdom that is from above. Who is the teacher who has opened up this truth to you?" And Joshua said, "I do not know any teacher opened up this truth for me. It seems to me that truth was never shut, that it was always opened up. For truth is one and it is everywhere. And if we open up the windows of our minds, the truth will enter in and make herself at home. For truth can find her way through any crevice, any window, any open door." The rabbi said, "What hand is strong enough to open up the windows and the doors of our minds so truth can enter in?" And Joshua said, "It seems to me that love, the golden cord that binds the 10 Commandments in one, is strong enough to open any human door so that truth can enter in and cause the heart to understand it." Now in the evening, Joshua and his mother sat alone, and Joshua said, "The rabbi seems to think that Allah is partial to his treatments of the sons of men. that Jews are favored and blessed above all other men. I do not see how Allah can have favorites and be just. Are not the Samaritans and the Greeks and the Romans just as much the children of the Holy One as are the Jews? I think the Jews have built a wall about themselves, and they see nothing on the other side of it. They do not know that flowers are blooming over there, and that sowing time belongs to anyone but the Jews. It surely would be well if we could break these barriers down so that the Jews might see that Allah has other children that are just as greatly blessed. I want to go from Jewry land and meet my kin in other countries of my fatherland. Now, that's Arab lesson. Because we already know that Noble Drew Ali put the cork when he said, don't dare compare the Moorish movement to any type of back to Africa, whatever. Right? So that excludes all them. They have no talk because they got stoppered. Now this because the Hebrews, who are on higher degrees than everybody else, they're supposed to know what's up. They're not supposed to be playing jewelry. They're not supposed to be playing Israel. What are you talking about? This is not for you to be playing religion with. If you're an Israelite, then you know that we're Aboriginal indigenous over here because you know that Hebrew is over here. Stop playing games. You know you were the ones who were in Spain that got expelled with us. You know we were living under Islamic rule in 1492. You're living under no Jew rule. What are you talking about? How are you somebody in 1492 if everything was Islamic? Islam, Morris.
Islam.
Peace, more. Brother Yusuf, you there? Yeah, he's muted.
Islam.
Islam,
Brother
man.
Cujo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
All right.
Yeah, that's peace. I don't know where Brother Yusuf is. I think he's probably muted or he's doing something. But he's there.
I'm right here.
Oh, Islam, more.
Islam, Lord.
You have any insight, any insight on what we read and as well this Hebrew Israelite and them talking crazy about Moorish nationality and sovereignty and all that?
Absolutely. Islam. And I'm quoting the brother master teacher C. Freeman L. Hebrew isn't even a Hebrew word. the word is Canaanite language. You know what I mean? That's so right, man. The word Hebrew itself is not even in their language. That word itself, it doesn't even exist in that language. That's an astounding fact. That's an astounding fact right there. The word itself is not even in their language. So how, that's a oxymoron, fraud, all type of stuff in one. I don't even get how they got that. You know, and also
the master teacher, C. Freeman teaches that the word Hebrew is a code word for her web. It's a code word for her web, because Solomon was the son of a widow. And we know that the widow, the black widow, is another spider. Solomon was the son of a widow. Back to Hebrew being a real, it's not even a code word. It's they call it, another one, C. Freeman, master teacher teaches, it's called anagrammatic writing. So the word Hebrew in anagrammatic writing is really her web. It's not codified. It's anagrammatic writing, and it's her web. Nothing to do with this, what they think. You know, that's a people. There's no place on this planet called Hebrew. We can't fly to Hebrew. That's not real. That's not real. And then when you ask them who they don't even know what they are. You got certain crowds that say they're Hebrew and leave it. They got other ones that say they're Hebrew Israelites and leave it. They got other ones that say we're just Israelites and leave it. So they're all confusion. They're all confused. They're all confused. Because it goes back to the fact that the word Hebrew is not even in your language. It doesn't even exist. Doesn't even exist. And I ran into another article that said that this modern Hebrew language that they think they're speaking is really Yiddish. Nothing to do with the ancient people that look like us. It's Yiddish. It said it was Yiddish mixed with Greek. I said, okay, now this is getting very weird. I thought it was some ancient BC people. Nope, because then again, William Cooper and Jordan Maxwell both tell you this Jewish Israelite stuff is not a BC religion, because they also know that it's not a race. This Hebrew Israelite stuff or Jewish stuff, whatever they want, it's a religion.
Oh yeah, let's
just people.
Yeah, let's just take a moment to hear the good Muslim son, Jordan Maxwell.
I have found that even Judaism is not a BC religion. It did not exist in the BC. So when we talk about ancient Jerusalem, there was no ancient Israel. Jerusalem, yes, but no ancient Israel. So when you think about and how you have preachers and religious leaders talk about ancient Israel this and ancient Israel that, in point of fact, Israel is not a BC religion. The whole concept of the Old Testament was developed right around the 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th century AD. So that the Old Testament is not an ancient record of an ancient people. There was no ancient Israel. Two of the greatest scholars, archaeologists in Israel, have written a book called Unearthing the Bible. And these two men, these two archaeologists, are the best and the brightest of the archaeologists in Israel. And in their book, basically, that's what they said. There was no Moses, there was no King Solomon, there was no King David. The entire thing was written probably in the 8th, 9th, and 10th century AD in Europe. Developed and taken. All of that was taken by the Jesuits in the Catholic Church and rewoven into a story and given to us today as an ancient Israel. There was no ancient Israel. Never existed. There was no Moses. There was no King Solomon. Solomon was Sol, Om, On. Sol is Latin for the sun. Om is the Hindu word for the creative force. And On is the name of the sun in Egypt. The Greeks call it Heliopolis, but the Egyptians call the city of the sun On. Go look in a dictionary, look at the word On. It will tell you it's the city of the sun in Egypt. This is why you flip a light switch on, because it was a city of light. So you take Sol, Om, On, the three names of the sun in the ancient esoteric languages, it becomes Sol, Om, On, or Solomon.
Look at this.
I have found
I can listen to that over and over again.
Yo.
Over and over again.
Yo. Crazy. Crazy.
Gave you everything you wanted. Everything you wanted. Go, and then, he said the word that they don't like. You can go look it up in the dictionary. That's what they don't want to hear. They don't like that. As soon as you start mentioning dictionary, you know how they get. That's the white man. It's crazy. 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 It's crazy, man, how they get. He just broke it straight down. There is no ancient Israel.
None.
Like, that's none. None. He said the Jesuits and the Catholic Church put it together, and now this is the crap y'all got now, this day. Y'all out here yelling in the streets, talking about read. Jesuits and Catholic Church made it up. In Europe. You heard them? You heard them? In Europe. This is what they're getting their practices from. Eurocentric thinking. This is and they're out here yelling in the streets, scaring people. Didn't do it. They can go get the book, like you said, Unearthing the Bible, and they have it free on a PDF. You can go Google it, and it comes right up. You can read it. Breaks it right down. They don't know. Only book they read is King James. They don't want to know nothing about nothing after that. They just know King James. Read. And it's crazy. And he's just telling you. It's in the dictionary. You can look it up. The word On is a city in Egypt. That's amazing. Fact. That's amazing. That's amazing. And they over here wearing all these symbols and stuff, thinking they talking about some Solomon seal and all that. No. Catholic Church and the Jesuits made it up. In the 8th, 9th, and 10th, 11th, and 12th centuries, he's telling you. That's when it's not an ancient BC religion. They just made it up. Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to go to Google Images, and pull up C. Freeman L. man poster and look at that to get a perspective of how you had something and then they took your stuff and made something totally different, and then we started chasing after the stuff that they made instead of our own.
Yep.
And this is what Noah Jolly talked about idol, not taking the Christianity and the European ways, because that's not our pedigree. We have our own stuff to follow. We have our own ancestral ways.
Yeah, Islam. All they did was take our ancestors' ancient customs and sciences, and they just Europeanized it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all they did.
Yeah.
You see? And, honors to the portion that was given by Brother Grand Sheik and by Brother Youssef.
Islam.
And, good demonstration and bringing up the Jordan Maxwell portion. And that's, a lot of what he says is relative to what was taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And I wouldn't be surprised if I and others even have Prophet Noble Drew Ali's works, and they're just not saying it because
I think that too. Jordan said that. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jordan Maxwell himself says that he started coming into the information that he puts out in the year 1959. So we know that when Jordan Maxwell talks about what modern day Judaism is based on, he says that it's based on the ancient Phoenician Canaanites. This is Jordan Maxwell himself saying.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Prophet Noble Drew Ali says that we are descendants of the ancient Canaanites and the ancient Moabites. And he talks about their Amorite and Hittite brethren. Prophet Noble Drew Ali put this in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the Noble Prophet Drew Ali. And this was in the 1920s. So this is 30 years before Jordan Maxwell came into light, based on what Jordan Maxwell himself said. So if Noble Drew Ali is telling you what Jordan Maxwell didn't come and say until 30 years after the prophet, we know the prophet is right. Yeah. So to camel walk with you, Brother Youssef, and what I did, Brother Cujo, it's all wise, right, and exact what Noble Drew Ali said. It's all based on us. This is our culture. This is our science. These are our traditions. And at some point, the Europeans done captured it and even remixed it. He's the master of the remix.
Yeah. And
you get these Hebrew Israelites. Let me go back to that. Brother Grant Sheik mentioned that. And they're taking something and trying to act like the European didn't tamper with it and play with it, and they want to play religion and don't know that your ancient ancestors had it before they remixed it, and Noble Drew Ali then told you that and gave you that. But they want to play religious gang banging, and you say you more, because I don't identify with that, and just all kind of misinterpretations, misappropriations of the information. But yeah, a very good demo by the Grand Sheik, very good demo, Youssef. But yeah, we're on the same page, and honors for bringing up Jordan Maxwell, because he connects a lot of the dots.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those telling the truth Europeans Noble Drew Ali was talking about.
Yep. And I like using them because that's their God. Everybody knows the European is those people's God. That's their God. So here he is. That's their God. We know that because the questions they ask, they have to see that their God said that the Moors are the ones that da-da-da-da-da. That the European got that somewhere in a document. Where does it say that the Moors are? Because their God hasn't said it. If they see that their God said it anywhere on some paper, on some interview or something like that, then they'll believe it. But if someone like themselves that look like them say it, oh no, we're out to lunch. Like the master teacher times 3 day teaches. We're out to lunch when we say it. Because that's their God. That's why I love that Jordan Maxwell comes on there and shuts it down. And like the brother said, he's just really confirming what the prophet already brought. I'm glad you bring that up. Because that's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. And I used to think that about a lot of them. I'm like, only person that was doing this information that y'all talking about now was the prophet at this time. He was the only one that was putting out all this information. To me, Noble Drew Ali is the first archaeologist. He was the one that said that, or the one that came up with the, they call it a theory, but that it's true now. Like basically everything was connected. That the empire over there and over here was all conjoined at one time, and then now they can find the evidence. They can find the rocks and the crust, to prove it. Noble Drew Ali brought that in the 20s. Nobody else was talking about that then. Everybody's just backing with the prophet, bro. Back in the day, I always thought that. I'm glad you bring that up. I always think like that. Like all of this mainstream media, whatever, they all reading with the prophet, bro, because he was the only one at this time that was bringing that up. Nobody else was talking about what he was talking about. They were saying 400 years back then. 400 years we was enslaved. The prophet, the only one that came on the scene, is all that stuff was a lie. Y'all lying. Came and checked that. This will not be no more back to Africa movement. None of that. That right there showing you.
Facts. We standing in Africa right now.
The prophet was the first one to bring the concept of aboriginal indigenous to the land. The prophet bring that. Nobody was bringing that up back then.
Facts.
Nobody. And for people that they talk, but you were saying in the video earlier, I was glad you were saying that in the video that you made earlier too, because a lot of their teachings that they get is from Moors. But they want to diss Moors, talk trash about Moors, like they didn't get all the information from the Moors.
Yeah, want to have nationality cards.
They're on us, hard bodies, brother, and I don't understand that. You know, all the love we show them, I be showing these guys a lot of love. I be cordial. I spend time sharing information with them. We give them documents. I just don't understand where the hate and discontent comes from.
You got your hand in their pocket.
Yeah,
that's the problem. You got your hand in their pocket. You messing up their notes. I started figuring it out. I said, oh, they can't make any notes when the Moors come in with the truth.
nobody can.
That paradigm. Nobody can.
Yeah, it's not just
and that's
them.
That's true. Now I get the El Haj scene. Get your hand out my pocket. That's the Moors. That's all we are. That's all we are. We got our hand in everybody's pocket. Like, nope, that's not going down no more. Nobody's getting no checks. Nobody's getting paid.
Yeah, what we talked about these guys and being fleecers of the people and being robbers. He talked about that. Yeah.
That's real.
And one other thing that I wanted to mention, if I may, is relative to what you and the Grand Sheik was talking about when you guys brought up Jordan Maxwell. And I'm glad that you guys brought that portion up, because Jordan Maxwell be giving it up, man. He be really, really opening doors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he really reveals the keys. Yeah. And it just shows you rather, some of the things that a lot of these European so-called white religious leaders is in possession of. So you know that if he's in possession of it, we the guys on our side have the same information that the court is hiding because they want to play religious fakery.
Yeah.
Killing them, it ain't more. Killing them.
See what I'm saying? Like how God say they want to pass the showcase around, pass the collection plate around, and play the pay us game, pay us or we don't like you game. But here's what I wanted to say. Jordan Maxwell said in one lecture, I don't remember the name of the lecture, pardon me for not having
Islam more
primary. But he says that the Hebrew language, the language today that's spoken by many, but by primarily the European, Ashkenazi, Eastern European, so-called white Jew, is derived from the ancient Phoenician language. The ancient Phoenician Cana language. This is what Jordan Maxwell himself says. He calls the ancient language the ancient Phoenician Cana language. So we're talking about the ancient Phoenician Canaanites. And again, back to what the prophet said. He said that our ancestors, we descend from the ancient Canaanites and the Moabites. I already talked about that. So whenever you Ali brought this up, he was giving us a reference point. So to know that master teachers like Jordan Maxwell is bringing this up now, and to know that the prophet instructed on this before him, you already know what it is. And then these guys want to play religion and segregation and separation. You say you Moor, you ain't saying you Jew or Hebrew. I'm not with you. And that's conscious gangbanging. You might as well be out on the street gang banging if you're gonna do it like that. So yeah, so honors to the Prophet, honors the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, honors to brothers like Jordan Maxwell, because the Prophet did say the European is helping you.
Why not you?
It's your problem. Yeah.
Why not you?
Yep. And the Prophet also said that he's going to make the European tell the truth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? So, yeah, so praise the Lord. Yep.
Islam. Just another reference point.
The Europeans going to help me. Why not you?
Why not you? That's right, Mo.
Why not you?
So, yeah. And then you got these grand sheiks, brother, and I may have mentioned this before in the previous video that I did with you guys. I'm not really sure. But these guys want to play politics and club games, and they want to hold the nationality card hostage. Yeah. And then they wonder why some of our people get turned off, because they don't want to play politics. They don't want to play tribalism and gang banging. That's how we fell off, being tribal and segregated. And then, you know, they get mad at me because I big up and give high honors and acknowledgments to brothers like I did Brother Cujo for moving in the spirit of the Prophet and not playing them kind of games. You see?
No, they tried to play me.
He gave me the nationality card and didn't care if he didn't see you again. But he would advocate that you come to the temple. You know, he would advise you to come to the temple, but if he didn't see you again, you know, that was fine. What he wanted was for you to have your nationality card. That's what was important first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
off the top. Nationality card.
Yeah, Islam. And that's what Cujo was moving with. And you know, Cujo was like, listen, you're having problems with where you at with these grand sheiks holding the nationality card hostage, which is what we were saying as well. Bam, this is how we gonna rectify that. And that's what it's about. Just waking the people up. Stop trying to get in their pocket. And that's what a lot of these grand sheiks are doing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then they want to say that we're not moving in the spirit of the Prophet,
we're violating,
or that we're not in line, or that we're illegitimate when we say these things. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, yep.
And again too on the level of where Moors are at on a level, like bumping into Miz and doing the video with him at the train station or wherever it was. And you had shouted us out in the video, you know what I mean? And it's not because of some finance. It's because of some brotherly love.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you know, we'll send somebody to go watch a seer or go to Mario Bay's website or something because of some popularity or whatever. It's because we know who gets stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we could direct somebody to where they need to be. You know. And I get it.
I just like the way you call it. I like the way you're saying that they're holding hostage the nationality card.
Yeah.
Because they tell you have to come to the temple to be a Moor. And it's like, that's wrong. That's not right. Like, no, you don't. You don't have to you don't have to go into a building to be who your bloodline is naturally is.
Yeah.
You know, when you go over the one-on-one questionnaire, it doesn't say, it says, why are you Moorish American? It doesn't say because I went to the temple. It doesn't say that.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Moor. That's right. Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Almighty. Because
that's crazy how they do that. Yep.
Because the temple was put in place to restore our nationality and birthrights that was already in existence before the temple. So the temple doesn't create it. The temple didn't create it. It's supposed to restore it. And that's how you know that these guys are sellouts, playing religion, playing leader guy, whatever, corporation, pay me, let me take all your coins and get out of here. Like, it's almost just like Christianity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Church, they playing church, brother. And I don't want to put that on them, but that's the reality of it. Mm-hmm. The temple was set up, again, by Prophet Leverage Ali to restore nationality and birthrights that we had prior to our enslavement, prior to us being put into captivity, prior to us being prisoners of war, so-called slaves, because we know the real slaves is Slavics. We already done did that demo.
Exactly.
But that's why the prophet founded the temple. But you got these guys that will act like the temple creates nationality, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. Mm-hmm. When it doesn't, it's to restore. So these guys are clowns. And with that, I'll clown it back.
Exactly. And so people don't get it messed up. Don't think that, we're saying all this at the temple. Like, we're not talking about the temple.
No.
The temple is nothing's wrong with the temple at all. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the temple.
Nope.
Right? It's the people who are in it, sitting in the seats. The people who are in the seats that are playing these type of games, where people would get discouraged and just give up their birthright, which is the plan, to keep these people stateless, to keep them without a nationality, so they could keep being food for the same system that's given these guys to get your hand out my pocket.
Facts. Yep.
Right? Because
man, it's almost church.
Hmm?
Yeah, like it's definitely that. Like the brother Yusuf just said, it's definitely like church. And then it's also almost like a social club. Because I hear a lot of them saying, this one, and you got to know who's who in this movement, and this family, and this one descends from that one. And it's like, what does that matter?
Yep. And where's the I'm glad you said that. That's a perfect example, man. Yep. Glad you said that.
Yeah, brother. Because Noble Drew Ali came for all Asiatics in North America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not for this one and that one. And, what's interesting is this. Like, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to name the temple because I don't want to come off like I'm picking on somebody. But this temple is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is where I come from originally, myself, my entire family, even though I'm on the other side of the Delaware River in New Jersey right now, which we know, anybody that studies knows that eastern Pennsylvania and southwestern New Jersey is all one landmass. It's all one. Shakamaxim or Shakamaxim. But that's a demo for another time. But you have a temple there where on the temple application, they ask you, what other affiliations do you have? What? As far as facts. Like they ask you, what other civic or fraternal affiliations do you have? Pardon. Like what Greek fraternity or sorority, if you're a sister, are you in? And they also ask for your social security number. So why are you asking for that? So definitely, it's definitely things going on behind the curtain. And if you're not with that, they see you as ruffling some feathers and being a troublemaker. Facts. And this explains why I never got a nationality card, even though they told me on this date you're going to proclaim, we're going to do the ceremony. It didn't happen. All right, we're going to do it on this day. It happened. So I seen that they were saying that and wasn't doing it because they want me to kiss tail. I'm not kissing tail. I'm not playing clubism, leader guy, whatever, fakery, religious fakery and all that, like how the Elder Mortage say. I'm not doing all of that. Either we're going to get to work, we're going to demonstrate nationality, let's make a difference, let's wake our people up and live good lives. You know what I'm saying? When I seen that they wasn't trying to do that, and then again, like I mentioned, Brother Cujo, Brother Grand Sheik, putting the edict out there like, yo, listen, if you having this issue and then bam, and then they mad at me. Like, how you mad at me? When we guys are the one who are selling out and you guys are the turncoat, and then you're mad at me.
Yeah.
While you're having a different corporate name than what the illustrious Prophet Noble Drew Ali established. Because last time I checked, the corporate name was Moorish Science Temple of America. It wasn't all these other names. And you brothers know what I'm talking about when I say that. And with that, I yield.
Islam. You have anything to add, Brother Yusuf?
Yo, the brother's going in right now. He's going in right now. I don't even have nothing to add on. He just nailed everything right there.
All right, so we're gonna play our friend.
He nailed it.
We're gonna play our friends with the sovereignty one. Yeah, we're just gonna play this audio or this video.
All right, more.
Shalom, Israel.
Christ
bless. This is
Hebrew Israelites talking crazy.
I am Captain Amaziah. With me today, today we have also.
Yeah, those guys.
Okay.
You know,
today's topic.
I got to go in on them.
Yeah, because they have this almost half-hour video talking about them explaining Moorish sovereignty. Right? So how is it that somebody who's not a master of something claiming to be explaining something?
Facts.
You know what I mean? That's how you say, never, you want to know about Moors? Ask a Moor. Don't ask a Hebrew Israelite guy. Don't ask a chematologist. Don't ask a black guy. Don't ask the conscious whoever. If you want to know about Moors, things Moorish, ask Moors. Because go to anybody else, you're immediately disqualifying yourself. Because nothing they tell you is going to be right and exact. Nothing.
Flash the light of you can be a sovereign, or you have Moorish sovereignty. You can go make up your own driver's license. You can make up your own passport. You can don't pay your taxes, things of that nature. We're going to get into all of that right now. Let's go to the definition of the word sovereign. Sovereign, a supreme ruler. A what? Supreme ruler. If there's no man, no Israelite man in this land here, in any land that's they're scattered in, that is a supreme ruler. But to be sovereign is to be a supreme ruler, right? There's more? Especially a monarch. Especially a monarch, a kingdom, possessing supreme or ultimate power. Possessing supreme or ultimate power. Right now, in captivity, we ain't got that power, brother. So you cannot be a sovereign. You are not a sovereign. There's more?
Islam, anything to add till we carry on?
Islam.
Islam more.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything to add thus far.
Yes, sir. Just listening. Just listening to what I think I heard. Did he say that we don't have that power, that we don't have the sovereign power? Did he say that?
Yeah, that's what he said.
And Prophet Noble Drew Ali said in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the Noble Prophet, he touched on that, right? The sovereign power, us raising up a sovereign ruler, meaning that it's the rule of the majority, choosing who they want those to govern them. Mm-hmm. And we know that the federal constitution speaks on that. It talks about the sovereignty lying with the people. All right? It talks about the people having a collective sovereignty, the sovereignty of any nation. I'm not just going to say the United States because I don't want to spook people out. But sovereignty is a collection of souls. It's a collective sovereignty. That's what makes up a nation's sovereignty. That's what makes a nation sovereign. What makes up a nation is the people. It's that unity. It's that collection of souls. This is one of the reasons why the prophet put the handpress on the nationality card, on the charter, because the handpress means unity. So that's the sovereignty, and one person could speak for that sovereignty. So the power is with us. This is the government by the people, for the people. The preamble to the Constitution starts off with these three words: we the people. So the power is with us. And all public servants who serve us, whether it's a magistrate, whether it's a judge, whether it's a sheriff, a governor, etc., they swear an oath to uphold, protect, and defend the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution, which is something that was drafted up by the people, for the people. So the superior claim is ours. We're the beneficiary of that document, which is a trust. So when I hear these guys talk and they say we don't have that power, I already know that they don't know what they're talking about. These guys are in religious spookism and fakeism. And they don't know the power that they really have. And then some know, and they want to play religion, and they purposely put out misinformation. And with that, I yield the floor to somebody else.
Islam. Brother Yusuf.
Islam. Now, I don't know if anybody wants to watch the video or whatnot, but okay, first of all, let's just go right in the beginning. You see how they read the dictionary, like the so-called dictionary? I was telling the Grand Sheik the other day, I said, people don't read like that in real life. They even took the dictionary definition and did that fake Hebrew yelling stuff. Oh, read. And then he does the breakdown. Like, nobody does that in real life. Like, y'all play that game when y'all reading y'all King James crap. Like, y'all play that game over there and y'all yelling outside, playing that dogma game. When it comes to real knowledge, like, you don't read like that when you go to so-called court, you go to your child's school, you go to a so-called job interview. They're not reading like that. They play these games when they go on their so-called platform. They just keep playing these games, childish games. Like, they just keep playing them. Like, nobody does that in real life. Nobody. No, I can't believe they keep doing that. Like, stop doing that. These people are grown men up there reading a dictionary, a so-called dictionary definition, and they still playing the read. Like, what? What are you doing? You don't do that in real life. And then the second thing, the dictionary he using, that's that Google dictionary BS crap. I always ask everybody, like, okay, you use Google. What school Google went to? What doctorates or whatever Google went to? What's that? I need a reference. So tell me the name of the dictionary. Something. They don't have that. They use these modern connotative definitions. Nobody's using the etymology of the word sovereign. And they know that because they all watch our videos. They watch all the Master Teacher Todd's videos, Grand Sheik Cujo's video. They all watch the Moorish videos. So they know what they're doing. That they're reading connotative definition. So we're going to read an unabridged dictionary So we can know the real original definition of the word sovereign and sovereignty. In the international, this is coming out of the Webster's New International Dictionary with reference history. It was published in 1907. Sovereign, noun. Everybody. Middle English, sovereign, sovereign, Old French, sovereign, sovereign, French, sovereign. Look, Latin, superanus, literally, superanus, or Latin, superus, and it says that is above or super above. It says see over or super. What in the brackets end? That means so we all know when it's in the brackets, that's etymology. Where did that what he read? What he just read? Where is that at in the etymology definition?
Yeah, and let me say this. I'm glad that you brought that up there, brother Youssef, because I just talked about us having a superior claim. The Constitution is a contract between those that serve and the constituents, meaning we the people. The preamble says we the people. So this is the government by the people for the people. So the superior claim is held by the beneficiaries, which is the people. And the trustee, or those that are supposed to act in a fiduciary capacity, is all those that swear an oath to uphold, protect, and defend that document. It's a contract between us and them.
Islam.
Superior claim, which is super or superior, belongs to us. So we're the super. Like how they say, like there's like in the whole landlord-tenant thing, the super.
Yeah,
which is ooh. I'm going with it. So Islam.
And then again, and that's why. And exactly.
You know what I mean, for putting this on, man. Man, these brothers, man, like now I see why they be hating Cujo and Canaanland and Youssef because and R.V. Bay because we're about. This is about liberating the minds of the people. Nobody always talked about us being in mental slavery. And they ain't, in their heart, it's not about what we're about. Because I'm about what you guys are about. You see what I'm saying? But these people are not about that. They want to play clubism. Like, they should have stayed in church. And then there's grief, crack, or sorrow. How they playing?
There you go.
They want to play dress up and who's the biggest leader guy, and that's my baby mama, she fly. Listen, don't get me started. Praise the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
And I was gonna make one point too, just to add on to what you were talking about with Noble Drew Ali and the whole concept of the sovereignty, that in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, end of time and fulfilling of the prophecies, verse 4, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the Prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc. Now, a charter is an instrument emanating from a sovereign. And that sovereign, through the Moorish Divine and National Movement, is making the members the beneficiaries.
Facts.
And then whatever benefits you get, prove your beneficiary status. So there's Moors who graduated from benefit and they realize that it's about rights. It's not about the temple perks. It's about your rights that you're getting back. Your ability to exercise the sovereignty. Because the sovereignty comes from the nation, which is another thing that Noble Drew Ali brought back. Not only a charter emanating from a sovereign power, but he also re-established the nation. That all these people
That's
knew,
right, brother.
all these people knew that we were part of that nation and said nothing. And he's the only one that told us. And now people are fighting it as if there's something to fight. You know?
Facts, and to add on to that, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, those who was with me then, or 2,000 years ago, was with me then, and those who are against me now, and I'm paraphrasing, but essentially what he was saying was, the same enemies that I had 2,000 years ago is the same enemies that I have right now. So them spirits are still moving. So, yep.
Shit.
That's a fact.
Islam.
You know? Yep. Those that was against all of the redeemers that our ancestors have had, not just who they call Jesus or Isa or Yeshua, but the same ones that was against him. Even the redeemers now, those same spirits exist. To anybody coming to raise the people and not wanting to disgrace the information or keep the people in mental slavery, there's opposition to these people. You see what I'm saying? Like, we'll talk about, because we know that Prophet Noble Drew Ali talked about the missing 18 years of Jesus. He said that we came to give Christianity back to the European, or that we want to give Christianity back to the European. But he still taught on Jesus, because we know Jesus didn't teach Christianity. He taught equality. You know that. Elijah and Muhammad talked about that, for Muhammad and the Prophet. But one of the things that got Jesus in trouble is he was in a temple disputing or challenging the doctors of the law. And like our elder Lord Todd says, it's because they was in a temple doctoring up the law.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with these grand sheiks and these leader guys. That's exactly what they're in the temple doing right now.
Yeah.
And any more that comes along that has a conscience that's sincere and serious in it, they crucify and ridicule them the same way that they did the individual that we call Jesus in the history or an allegory. I mean, I don't want to argue that, but you know, whether you believe it actually happened, whether you think that it was allegory, but we know that redeemers exist every day. We're here now. Me, Brother Yusef, Brother Grand Sheik Cujo, other brothers around, we're here now. The same spirits that existed then is here now. So any redeemer coming who's sincere, who's serious, they get condemned. They get charged. They get accused frivolously, right? So the same things that happened to him is happening to us now. They did it to the Prophet Muhammad, chased him out of Mecca and into Medina. You see what I'm saying? And then honor him after the fact. They honor all of the prophets after the fact. Created Christendom or Christianity 300 years after they falsely accused him, right? And then sentenced him to what he ultimately went through. So
yeah, Chase Drew Ali from Jersey to Chicago.
Facts, very good. Chased him out of the old Canaanite temple to Chicago. So we know that all redeemers deal with it. And that's how you know who's who and what's what. When you see the opposition, like the opposition that we face, that I face, that you face, Brother Cujo, that Brother Yusef faces, and all others that's sincere. So you get to see it, but you know, but yeah, facts.
Islam.
You know?
You have anything to add, Brother Yusef?
Just people should go look up the word. Don't go listening to people people who have no idea who they are. We also know man does not know what man is told.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just sit there and just listen to people. You have to go fact check and fact check the fact check. You gotta go keep finding it. You have to. You have to. Because if you don't, these people come up here and make these videos and start read. Blah, 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 blah. And you thinking that's see, these boys is lying. No. Nope. You thought that was it. The guy up there sitting in the purple Greek fraternity colors that call themselves Hebrew Israelites. I'm like, you guys look like the Greek fraternal guys with that purple on. Like y'all about to start Musa mooing and doing all those props and stuff. He's killing me, man. And that's what they do. And I'm glad he brought that up earlier. How they treat. Oh, that's what he said. The brother, when he said, when they was in the church doctoring up the law, where they were, and they wasn't trying to mess with, whatever you want to call him, Jesus, Yahshua, whatever. But because they were in there doctoring up the law, what that reminded me of was when we took a trip to so-called Pittsburgh and we went to go knock on the door at the temple, and they wouldn't let us in because they was in there doctoring up the law. Like that's what I'm like. That's why we couldn't come in. They came out, closed the door right behind them. They came outside. They wouldn't let us in. They came outside and closed the door behind them because they was in there doctoring up the law. They had their reincarnation guy up there in the background, because they closed it so quick. We looking through the mailbox slot trying to see what they doing in there. And what we get a quick glimpse of is they got a reincarnated prophet next to the prophet. So this is their real guy who they're messing with. But they don't want us to see it because they're doctoring up the law. That's not the law. I'm glad you put that because that was key because that's what they're doing. They've been in there doctoring up the law, lying, saying you got to come to the temple to be a Moor. I'm glad you said that. It's the same thing. Same thing they did to Jesus when they said that. Same thing. Yep. And when Jesus, and they better not have let us in there because we did the same thing Jesus did. Started flipping tables. Started flipping tables. They're like what?
These guys been around since just after the prophet passed form. And then when you ask them, what have they done to carry out the prophet's program? What have you done? What have you done? Nothing but play religion. And they know it, we know it. And, it's just like, come on.
Yeah, it's about time. It's about time to put away the foolishness. Because there's no real need for it. Because it's an obvious fact. Too many different reference points verifying our position.
Yeah.
Too many.
God to wrath. Read. Ye were delivered unto the enemy. You were delivered unto your enemies. If you're delivered unto somebody, how the hell you become a sovereign? Just because you got some paperwork? Read. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils. What did you sovereign brothers do? Sacrificing unto devils. Read. And not to God. We would start sacrificing and doing after the other nations' gods, okay? Now, let's go to Lamentations 5:1. Let's go to
what is he reading? Was that the Bible? Like he remixed the dictionary with a Bible verse real quick? Is that what he did?
Read. Lamentations chapter 5, verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance. Our inheritance is turned to strangers. The Bible says our inheritance. What was our inheritance? Our land. North America, South, this Western Hemisphere was given to us as an inheritance to the 10 tribes, okay? What happened? Here comes the other nations now. Here comes Esau. Here comes the Spaniards, the French, the English, the Dutch, the Portuguese. And
see what happens when you don't study? You think tribe and nation means the same thing. Then they tried to slide that in there too, real quick. See, other nations came in. Tribe and nations don't mean the same thing. Tribe and, we know what tribe means in law. We know what tribe means in law. Like you can't just be saying words. Only time they want to look up a word is when it says Moorish. Every other word, they don't want to go to the dictionary for it. That's the white man's dictionary. That's how they talk. But when we go look up tribe, we know tribe doesn't apply to us. Yeah. Tribe doesn't apply to us. Yeah, I'm telling you. Purposely, you got get your hand out my pocket. That's the problem, Lord. The Moors are in their pocket. The Moors is in their pocket. They're devastated right now.
See, really what it is we're jealous of our fame and nobility, the same way that the prophet talked about how certain ones of his fame and nobility. And they're just jealous because we go into court after we study and spank the situation, spank the matter, and they're just jealous, brother. And that's just what it all boils down to. At least from what I've seen. I mean, I'm not saying that that's the end all to be all, but, you know, there's some more haters. You know, like how Brother Grand Sheik say, these guys are more haters, man. And I'm with that.
Islam.
Destroyed our forefathers. Okay? We were not sovereign when they came. After they came, we were not sovereign anymore. I'll state it like that. Read.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Read.
Our houses to aliens.
So the aliens, the real illegal aliens, is the so-called white man. The Spaniards, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the English. Those are the illegal aliens, but they call you the illegal alien. Why you think you are sovereign? Read.
We are.
So if they're the illegal alien, then who's the sovereign over here? Because aliens are a class of citizenship. So if you have aliens, then you have to have nationals somewhere. You can't just have aliens. Oh yeah, aliens came over here. That sounds like you're going with some European story. That they came here and
they gotta know better, man. And like the Grand Sheik said too, like some of us in the history, we want to be the victims, man. Like some of us, we like the Negro, Black, and Colored story. We was in Africa, or we was in the Holy Land, like how the Hebrew Israelites say, we was in the Holy Land, not messing with nobody. Europeans came and grabbed us. We like the half-truths and the fantasy stuff, brother.
For real.
Instead of, how it actually transpired. Like, we don't want to deal with what it actually is. We want to deal with what we want it to be. But it's a lot to it. Like, we enslaved people. Why they don't ever talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot to it.
Islam.
Or read, which the Lord shall send against thee.
God sent this man against you. Read.
In hunger
for food. We don't own this land here. We pay taxes on this land here, where we get food from. The majority of our food is GMO. All kinds of food that don't benefit our bodies is here. Okay, so for food, we gotta serve our enemies. Read.
And in thirst.
For water, we pay that water bill like we read it in Lamentations 5 and 4. Okay, for water, to drink water, we gotta serve our enemies. Read.
And in nakedness.
For clothes, all our clothes, we gotta serve our enemies now. We don't produce none of these clothes. Our clothes are made in Korea or made in China.
Now that's the same thing that you're talking about with the victimization. that they're so into self-hatred that they don't even see the hexes that they're putting on themselves.
On themselves. They did it to themselves.
The hex that you put on yourself because you choose to be incompetent and not study is a black hole. Right? You will not return. Because anybody who was in any of these schools of thought right now, the real ones, they know about their nationality and birthrights, and they say that they're Moors. They have a nationality. And they still say Yahweh, and they still speak Hebrew and all that. But they say that they're Moors, though. And they got Moorish nationality cards with Moroccan flag. With Moroccan flag. But we know that they're on nationality and birthrights. It's a game people are playing.
Who are you talking about again? Green Sheet? Who are you talking about? You were talking about the Moorish Jews of Harlem? That had their Moroccan flag behind them?
No, the Moors in Detroit. The Moors
okay,
Detroit.
okay. But yeah, what about the Moorish Jews of Harlem though?
Yeah,
why would they debate them?
Them too.
Yeah, these guys, just real quick, like Brother Yusef brought up, and like Brother Grand Sheik brought up as well, these guys be having the flag of the Kingdom of Morocco or the Moroccan flag behind them instead of the Moorish flag. And we know that happens a lot. And that's not to practice and play division, but we know that it's two types of flags. Both flags is a red flag with a 5-pointed green star, but we know that the green star is different on the Moroccan flag versus the green star on the Moorish flag. So I just wanted to throw that in there, if that's relevant.
Islam.
Or made in some sweatbox in Mexico. Okay? It's not made in the hoods of America by our people. Read into that about those sovereignty, about that paperwork. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Did that happen? Yes. Now, I want you to read this about that sovereignty, about those that paperwork with Esau. Let's go.
U.S. Native American treaties.
U.S. and Native American treaties. Let's see what it says about
Islam,
when America, Babylon.
But okay, let's remember their foundation. The Catholic Church and the Jesuits put this together. Jordan Maxwell just told us in the beginning. The stuff that they're reading was concocted by the Catholic Church and the Jesuits. That's what they're reading. And they keep saying, read. That's where they got it from. Jordan Maxwell just told us. All that comes from the Catholic Church and the Jesuits.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're using it. And then this the thing that really gets me. It's like, he says, this is the part about the paperwork. Read that part about Esau. What the hell is you talking about? Like, what did you just say? What did you just? That's not scholarship. That's not scholarship at all. What you just did, nothing at all with that was scholarship. You can't write, because none of them. I'm pretty sure these people have children. When their children write some school book paper or whatever, they're not gonna say, well, the Bible says da 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 da. They're not gonna say that. The children can't say that. They're not gonna say that. They won't let their children write that.
Mm-hmm.
But they come on here, and every example they use is from the Bible. Well, the Bible says this. The Bible says that. When they go to the store to go get their Newports, they don't say the Bible says this. They pay and get them Newports. That's what these Hebrews is doing. They don't say, oh, the Bible says this. The Bible says that. That's not going on. When they go buy their conveyance, when they go buy their groceries, they're not saying the Bible says this. Read. They don't go to the cashier talking about read. They don't do that. They play these games when they come on their platform. But Morris, we go in there. Oh no, I don't pay taxes. Take that off.
Yeah.
They go my ID. Boom, boom. We demonstrate. We got the information and we demonstrate. They can't demonstrate reading that King James. They can't go out in the real world and demonstrate with that King James. But Morris, we can go out right in the world. Oh, I'm Moorish American. Like, and that's gonna get. We are determined to make that work. Like, that's gonna work for whatever situation I'm in. I'm a Moor. Like, I'm not Negro colored, black, African American, Hebrew, none of that. I'm a Moor. This is my land. This is my house. And Europeans know what time it is when you show up. But when you outside yelling, hooping and hollering, their so-called Esau is laughing at them. Laughing at them because they know, how are you calling me Esau? And that stuff that you're reading was concocted from the Jesuits and the Catholic Church. Y'all the dummies. These people are monsters, and they should go look that word up, Black's Law Dictionary. They're monsters. Stateless. This is what stateless people do right here. They hooping and holler, start saying colorful word. Oh, I'm a citizen of this. You're stateless. What do you mean? Facts. You're Hebrew Israelite. You're stateless. That's Palestine over there. That's not Jerusalem. That's Palestine. And then I heard him say so-called white man. When did the Hebrews start talking like that? Where did they get that from? They talk like that because they got it from us. Exactly. Because they say the white man. They don't say so-called. That's when they start talking like that.
Speaking about they got it from us. We are all Moors.
My guy.
We are all Moors. Muslims found their way to the New World, and Islam survived in European culture, even though its extensive cultural legacy, or in one of the most remarkable episodes of Semitic solidarity in the face of an upstart European civilization, through many Jews' identification with Islam and Moorish traditions. Many Jews, or Mosaic Arabs, in the expression of Britain's legendary Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli, adopted their Islamic heritage to better resist Europe's design on the Orient and its people. Thus, as Africans were struggling against slavery and racism in the United States and America as a whole, by relying on the strength that Islam provides, Jews in Europe were proudly displaying their Moorish heritage to counter European anti-Semitism with the claim that they belong to a far grander stock of the Arab nation. Not only did many prominent Jews, including Disraeli, see themselves as Arabs or admire the Islamic faith, but also many Jewish communities use Moorish designs to build their synagogues, some claiming that Moorish architecture was the closest to the original model of their ancient temple in Jerusalem. And they can't say anything about that's not talking about them, because if you say you're Hebrew Israelite, you're saying you're a Jew. And we already know Jews aren't European. And the only people that qualify are the so-called falashas in Ethiopia and you people in America that gravitate to that quote-unquote black Jewish whatever. And of course, the fakers that sold out and went to Israel, and they're talking about that's the motherland or whatever. Like the Moore was saying, ancient, or like Jordan Maxwell was saying, ancient Israel. And they just say ancient Israel. You think it's ancient. Well, just to stress that they were studying Islam. They were exercising Moorish identity, but they were Jews and they were European. So if a European could claim it, then why are you people playing around? Playing slavery games and playing Aboriginal and Indigenous games when you already know that it's a birthright. Read.
Yeah. Yeah, that's their favorite thing. That's all they know how to do is say that. But there's you can't use any dictionary. No etymology, no unabridged, nothing. They sneak and use Google connotative modern definitions to go against the ancient people. Like, that proves we already know who you're working for. We know what you're doing. Facts. We already can see what you're doing. Once you start using connotative definition, we already know what side you're on. Facts. And then not only that. Yep. Go ahead, more. Yeah, so what I was going to say was not only that, they don't like to deal with the fact that if we're just going by Bible standards, because we know the Bible is not the end all to be all, right? We know that the Ishmaelites, which we know the modern until day Arabs or Arabs claim to be descendants of Ishmael, and we know that Isaac and Ishmael were brothers, descendants of Abraham. We know that the people that claim to be Hebrews and the people that claim to be Ishmaelites, i.e. the Moors, are one and the same people. They don't want to deal with that. But we're the same people. Demonstrating and practicing the same science. The culture is one. The science applied in Christianity and Judaism and Islam is one. And that's paying homage to the divine presence or the divine force or power in the universe. It's nature, the sun, moon, and stars. That's what the culture is based on, whether it's Islam, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Christianity. It's based on that. And they don't want to deal with that. When I tell them that, they start saying, oh, you this and that, and the scripture don't say that. Yeah, of course it says that.
No, it don't say that. Nah, it don't say that.
Yeah. Wow.
No, it doesn't
but
say
the culture is one, and we know that there's a reason why in our Islam, which I don't say that from a spooky standpoint, because I'm not spooked out in religion. No. I deal with it to a certain extent, but we know it's bigger than that, right?
Right.
But we know the reason that most of the flags of the Islamic countries of the world, from the Moorish flag to the flag of the Kingdom of Morocco to the flag of Saudi Arabia, Iran, etc., we know that the reason green is prevalent is because it represents the planet Venus. So now we're talking astrology, astronomy, cosmology. We know that when we're dealing with Christianity, we know that we're talking about ancient sun worship. So now we're talking about the sun, talking about the planet Venus. And we know when you're dealing with how Judaism came to be. We know we're dealing with the planet Saturn and the moon. So we're dealing with the astros as above, so below. And for some reason, those that spooked out in religion, they don't want to deal with that. But it's based on the planet, the workings of the celestial bodies, the workings of the planet.
the root is the same for all. I don't care what name you put on it. But it's nature. It's nature's God, so to speak. And for some reason, these guys don't want to deal with that. But the culture is one, like how the Elder Mortaj likes to say. And I used to remember, like, when I was learning this, I used to wonder, damn, Mortaj keeps saying that. But now I know why. Mm-hmm. The culture's one. And those that want to play religion and tribalism and club games, they play the separation game. But the science applied in Christianity and Judaism and in how Islam is one. And there's noble Jew Ali that came to reveal that. He said, we honor all true and divine prophets. Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Confucius, etc. So essentially what he's telling you, without explicitly telling you, is that the culture is one. And with that, I yield back. Islam.
Islam.
I'm glad you bring that up, because what that even proves is, again, that they're going with the Eurocentric thinking. Mm. Because what you just described is that old time religion, cosmogony, cosmology, and that's what we deal with. That's what Moors deal with. Our people, we deal with that across the planet. All Asiatics deal with the old time religion. These slave-minded, Eurocentric thinking people are the ones that's promoting this, dogma side of religion, and they're accepting it and don't want to go on because they know about it. They know about it. I've done lectures at some so-called Hebrew thing. They know all about the astrology, but they want to use But you have to get them in the corner in the wall where, okay, now they just have to submit and be like, yeah, you're right. But then they'll play the game like, oh, but we got to meet our people where they're at. But no, you had this Hebrew place here for 30 years. When are you gonna start teaching the true science? What do you mean meet the people where they're at? It's been 30 years. Mm-hmm. You've been here teaching the same thing. Yeah. Like, you're lying. Again, you started making notes off of the keep hope alive thing, because that's what this whole religion thing is to keep hope alive. That's how I look at it. Their whole dogma, they're making money. They're making notes off of the keep hope alive, and then after they pass the plate around, and people just keep giving up their lunch money, like the master teacher Todd said. They go up there, say read 1 million times, and then they pass the plate around and say, and get your lunch money. No, and then when you leave there, no remedy for anything. Once you leave the Hebrew, whatever, you're going back outside black. Yeah. Back outside black. Because again, like I said earlier, all that hooping and hollering, read, they can't go out in the real world and activate that. That does not work. That's fraud. Mm-hmm. That's not real. You can't go out in the real world and just, you in a job interview and you're talking about what the Bible says. No, you can't say that. And then you pulling out verses talking about read, and you're trying to show the manager, see, the Bible says right here, if you don't hire me, blah blah blah. No, you don't get to do that, man. It don't work like that, and they don't do that. But again, when they come play their games, they want to just start doing that all over again. That's an agenda. That's a mind tactic. That's not real. That's not reality. That's what they play. Again, like the brother said earlier, that's their clubism. They're playing clubism. Come join here. And if you're not up to date on dues, they're taking your card away. You're no longer a Moor. You're no longer a Hebrew. That's what them organizations is doing now. Because I remember meeting Grand Sheik. Go ahead.
Well, what I wanted to say, don't lose your thought. Keep that thought when you were saying that you remember you and the Grand Sheik. And I'm going to bring that up again. But let me just say this right quick, because what you're touching on is key, more, and thank you for that. Something that came to mind for me, you mentioned for lack of a better way to put it, you mentioned that these guys are all about finance. You know, there was a church in Atlanta called Ebenezer Baptist Church, and the pastor is Creflo Dollar. And you know, one of the things that he does before he allows you to be a member of the church, before he allows you to join, is he wants to review your tax returns versus how much you are generating and see how much you make. So, you know, that goes to show you what they're about. You know, are you going to buy me a new jet? Can you get me a new jet? Can you get me a new Range Rover? Now, I'm not saying that I'm against ones living a better life, because we all want to live a good life. We all want to take care of our families. But these guys be pushing the envelope. 3 or 4 jets,
Next
5
level.
Bentleys, and all of that. You got a whole, you know, like we'll take Joel Osteen, because, see, I used to domicile in Houston, Texas. So we'll take Joel Osteen, which his church is in Houston, Texas. He was able to garner up enough finance where he purchased the old Summit where the Houston Rockets used to play, and turned it into a church. And then when they had some kind of natural disaster there, he wouldn't let people come into the old Summit and stay. And you got all that room, like 1 million square feet. So I just wanted to bring that up. It's fine.
Just because I don't really follow the church stuff, but I know I heard you, but I didn't really hear you. But say that again about the church, that he made a what out of a church? He made.
Yeah, can you hear me good?
Yeah, no, I heard you. I just want you to say it again because I heard you, but I just want to hear.
Overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all is well. Yeah, all is well, more. So Joel Osteen, who's one of the big preacher minister guys on TBN, which TBN is an acronym for Trinity Broadcasting Network. You know, the big ones are Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar, Joyce Meyer, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Reverend K.C. Price, who's out of L.A. So these are some of the big names that come on TBN. And of course, you know that some of the older guys what's the guy's name?
And that proves too, I don't want to cut you off, it just proves that they're part of the Catholic Church. When you said that Trinity.
Oh yeah, fact.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Fact. And then I think another guy is I want to say superstar Billy Graham, but I know a wrestler took that name. But I think he took that name from a TBN preacher. But anyway, you know, that's beside the point. But we know that Joel Osteen, he purchased the old Summit that the Houston Rockets used to play in. He bought it. He bought it flat out. I used to live in Houston, Texas. And this structure is off of the 45 freeway. But he bought it. The whole thing, owned it outright, a linear title, right, etc. And when they had some type of natural disaster in that area of Houston, Texas, and people needed a place to seek refuge, he denied them. Joel Osteen. So this goes to show you the finance that they have. So it lets you know what they're all about. They're not about redeeming us. They're not about educating.
Right.
They're not about bringing the law and the power back to the people. This is a government by the people for the people.
That alone should let them know.
And let me say this. Yeah, and let me say this, because I hear a lot of guys say, oh, the Moors are anti-government, the Moors is this. Listen, how can I be anti-government when this is a government by us for us? So I am the government.
So you're saying that I'm anti-me? Like, shut up.
Shit.
So,
Right.
you know, it's a bunch of levels to it. It's levels. And, you know, with that I yield. Islam wars.
Islam.
That anti-government thing kills me every time, especially when it comes from, you know, unconscious Moors or Moors, when they say, you know, Moors who practice law are anti-government. Because my thing, who's the government? Europeans?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying the government is? You guys are still, like, they'll tell you, oh, we were enslaved for 400 years. And then you're going to say that those are the guys, the guys who enslaved you. Right. That's the government? And we're anti that. We're anti the guys who enslaved you. But they don't say that. They don't say that. They'll say, well, more than anti-government. And we're supposed to go along with the modern illusion that, you know, Donald Trump is the president. Obama, you vote. And no. That's not real. That's not real. That's what they say. That's what they mean when they say more than anti-government. The modern illusion. They're not going with the true facts. You know, or even with their own thing. I'm like, okay, if you're a descendant of slaves, how is these people your government? Mm-hmm. If you're saying you're from Africa, how are these people your government? How is that? How is that? That's why I always tell the green sheep, just let them talk. They're gonna kill themselves. They always do, because they don't know. They're incompetent. They don't even know what's going on. They're just angry because you're incompetent. Incompetency causes disaster. Mm-hmm. Because you're incompetent, you stress yourself out and kill yourself. Give yourself a heart attack because you don't know what's going on, and you think, okay, I got to get 5-6 jobs so I can pay this. And no. It's birthright death. But you don't know. You don't even know that. You think you got to get 5-6 jobs, march picket, pray, keep hope alive. I've been doing that for hundreds of years now. Hundreds. It's birthright death. But they don't know that. They're gonna kill themselves, stressing themselves out. And another thing, real quick, I want to thank the brother for breaking down all of that Christianity stuff with the pastors. I knew nothing about none of that. All of that is astounding. Because my question is, the man bought a stadium.
No, it still has me messed up, yo. That has me messed up.
Yo,
that has me messed up because I'm looking at it too. Like, if this guy could buy a stadium, then what could each of one of these Moors have done for the nation after Noble Drew Ali transition?
Right.
If this one guy could buy a stadium.
Right.
This one guy bought a stadium? Stadium, bro. To make it into a church. Yeah. And then people are talking about Christians turning mosques into churches, and that was heavy. No, this dude took a stadium, made it a church. That has me messed up.
But my thing is because I'm looking at it. He bought the church off of his first church's collection off of the plate, off of all of the members. You know what I'm saying? All the members paid for that stadium. He got the stadium. A catastrophe happened. The members who paid for the stadium, because he didn't, the members paid for that. During the catastrophe, were not allowed to come in. That is amazing. That's amazing. The members paid for that church, and they're not even allowed to come in there during the catastrophe. That's crazy.
And after the catastrophe, they're going to be going to that church.
Yo, tell them, Grand Sheik, they went right back to church.
Yo,
looking at the stadium,
crazy.
Like, did anything break? Looking at the stadium, like, did anything break? We'll pay for it. What? The man wouldn't let you in during the catastrophe, but if it got during the catastrophe, if something broke, that collection plate coming around, we got the building fund.
Yeah.
And they gonna pay. And they gonna pay. Keep that stadium up. But a catastrophe happened. You can't come in here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing to me. Amazing. And that's not no European. Was it a European? Because I'm thinking it was a brother since it was in so-called Houston, Texas. Yeah, he was a European. Oh, it was a European? Okay. Same thing.
Yeah, only a European will do that. European, the brothers ain't there yet. They're not that heavy. They can get their little jets and stuff. They get their little rapper stuff, but buy a stadium, that's next level. That's next level.
But I bet you more is attend that church.
Oh, most
I bet
definitely.
you more is attend that church.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Oh yeah, I had wrote down. Remember, I was talking about me and the Grand Sheik. Remember, we a couple of years back. I forgot where we at. We ran into a Moor, and he showed us his temple ID.
Oh yeah. That was in Pittsburgh too.
So that was in Pittsburgh too.
That was the time with Miz and them, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But what was it on his ID? Was it like?
It was.
Did it have like an expiration date on it?
I think it.
Or like
is it an expiration date?
Or something with his dues or something.
Oh yeah, it had a disclaimer on the back saying about if you miss a certain amount of dues, the card will be confiscated or something like that.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
And I bring that up because the brother said earlier they're playing hostage with the nationality card.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a nationality card they handing out. They handing out membership cards.
Yeah.
That's why they being so selective with it, because they're playing membership.
Because membership, exactly. As soon as they start
because
playing
if it's national, you have to give it out.
Yeah.
You have to give it out if it's national. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's membership, you can be selective because you can pick and choose. This is your club. You can join who you want to join it.
No,
it's your club.
No. At our temple, we do that. But not because we're playing club. Because we want to make sure you know what the hell you're doing before you get this nationality card. Because one, people get this nationality card and just flash it around thinking that it's a save you, get out of jail, collect $200 or whatever.
Yep,
and then other people are looking at it like, you know, I don't have to show allegiance. I got my card, so I'm out of here. I'm gonna go do my own thing. You know what I mean? So we put 6 months to a year on that you need to show allegiance to our temple before you even get nationality card.
And that's a good thing too.
You know what I mean?
You're teaching civics though.
Not cause we're running some club or we're trying to hold people's nationality or anything like that. We just got played too much and you're not gonna be playing us. Simple as that. You know what I mean? You're not gonna come in here, get your card, and then split in 2 months just because we gave you the card yesterday. And then we never hear from you until 10 years later and you're coming up talking about you want something? Where the hell were you for 10 years? Like, what do you mean you want something?
Or you done got into something?
Yeah. Oh, now you're calling? We haven't seen you in ever. Yeah, well, you know, I got 5 felonies. I got 5 felonies now. I need the Moors to help me because the 5 felonies I got. Like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean you got federal cases?
Yeah.
Where you been?
Right. Islam and to camera walk with what you brothers are saying when you I think Brother Yusef talked about if you're dealing with membership, then you can pick and choose. But if you're dealing with nationality, you gotta you can't be non-biased, then you gotta deal with everybody. And see when Prophet Noble Drew Ali was in the flesh, like I mentioned earlier on the platform, he would just give you your card. He didn't care if he didn't see you.
Mm-hmm.
But then, now that you have these grand sheiks playing clubbism and segregation, and holding the nationality card hostage, that tells you that they don't see it as a nationality card. I mean, they're calling it that, but they see it as a membership club. They're playing club. They're playing clubism. Versus the prophet, he really saw it as a nationality card, handing it out to any and everybody, no matter what. Facts.
Yeah,
so that's a portion.
It goes right back to the doctoring up. That's all they did was take the prophet stuff and doctored it up. So they can make it look like this is what it is, but behind closed doors, this is what they're really doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love what the Grand Sheik is doing. You got 6 months before you get. It reminded me in high school, we used to be on the football team. Coach told us, I don't cut anybody. You're going to cut yourself. You're going to quit. You're going to quit. You're going to cut yourself because you couldn't make it. You couldn't do it. And that's the 6-month thing.
Yeah.
You cut yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody can make the team. Everybody can get a nationality identification card. But I love how you're doing it because you're protecting them from themselves.
Yeah.
You came in here, dumb nigger. You're above 30. You have 30 years of indoctrination. And now you got this card. And I know for a fact, because we all done it, went out there and did something too early and not knowing what we was doing.
Yeah.
Because we got the card. Now I'm just, that's why I love what you're doing. Like, no, you got to break your bad habits before you can do that. Keep coming to class every day. Keep coming. Keep coming.
And a year might not even be enough. It probably supposed to be a 5-year or whatever.
Yep.
Before you get your nationality card. But we said 5 years, then that's gonna be, people are gonna really think that this is a club that we got going on. So we'll be lenient and say a year. At least in a year, if you're really serious on studying, like Brother Yusuf said, either you're gonna cut yourself or you're gonna learn something crazy. And you are gonna be 100 in. You are gonna be in. Once you get over that first hump, you're gonna be in for life.
Because when that 5 years ends, I guarantee you, with the knowledge you're gonna know at that time after those 5 years, you're not even gonna think about that nationality identification card.
Card's gonna be useless.
because you're gonna know you're the ID. Yeah. I'm the ID.
Mm-hmm.
What that man saying, Bruce Leroy got up from that water, I'm the master. I am. I'm the ID. I'm it. If anybody does it, if you're saying that's not me or I'm not who I'm saying I am, that's slander. But it's going to take 5 years to get to that. That's why I love the Green Sheik, how you're saying that. Like, yeah, you got to protect Moors from themselves. The genuine Moors are going to get it. The people who come in there, I got to get my ID, it's because you done got into some trouble, ran into this information, and it's like, okay, as long as I got this ID, I'm fine. No.
Yeah.
No. You in more trouble now.
Yep, totally wrong concept. Totally wrong concept. And then someone in the chat said, if I knew how to reach you guys, I would have done it 4 years ago. But it wasn't supposed to be done 4 years ago. Because everything is ordained to happen because it's the will of the supreme mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you were supposed to get it when you got it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're supposed to get it.
Allah guides this.
Allah guides this. You have nothing to do with anything. You're just a speck of dust in a corner.
That's it.
Right? In a world, in a galaxy, in a universe that's multidimensional. You're a speck of dust as far as who you are physically. So don't get too excited. Because we're nobody.
Coming to this information. I'm glad y'all bring that. That's a good man. Because they get the ID, not knowing, okay, listen, We're 100 years behind. Okay? Before I hand you this, I'm going to let you know. We're 100 years behind. Don't go out there thinking, oh, it's all good and gravy. It's not. We're 100 years behind. They got rid of the prophet in the 20s. They got him off the scene and spreaded all of this BS now. Remember, now everybody thinks we're Negro color is black with feathers on because of the sellout. The 100 years of selling out. All now, so yeah, I gave you the card, but remember, we're 100 years behind. You gonna go out there and get yourself. That's why I love the Quincy that you bring that up. 5 years. It should have been. It would have helped me. If I would have waited 5 years, now I know what I know. I'm like, yeah, I should have waited, man. I always think that. Like, I should have waited. I could have waited. May move differently this way. May move differently this way. But coming in, hothead, dumb nigger still. I'm making moves that I shouldn't be making. You know, and I'm telling you, brother, I'm telling you, that card, if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble. 5 years should have been the max. It should have been the max. If you're genuine and you de jure and you know that this is what it is, oh, you would have knew that 5 years was, yeah, I gotta wait that. I gotta wait. And then by the time that happened, you would have knew. You don't even need that ID. Okay. Real quick, I lost my ID a year and a half ago. Okay. I haven't called Mother Roz, Brother Miz, nothing for. I can just call Miz and get another copy. It's nothing. Send it right to me. Nothing. But I don't need the card. I don't even need the card. Stores I go into, they already know. I'm the card. That's right. I'm the card. I already knew it. I was like, oh, nah, I'm not. Can't nobody tell me nothing now. I don't even need the card.
You know what's funny about that is there's some news here where I am locally, right now, in Atlantic County, New Jersey, right? You know, by the Jersey Shore, who was crying and complaining about Every Day, Razzmanaya Bay, Brother Mills, and the card and all of that. And I had to tell them, I said, listen, don't blame them. The card and the documents is just a briefing of what you are, of what you're supposed to do.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
So don't blame the card, it's you. It's you.
Yep.
It's your mind. It's your thoughts. It's your spirit. You're supposed to be the embodiment of what's on those documents and what's on those cards. And if you can't defend it, then you shouldn't have it. So don't blame them, blame yourself. And I noticed that our people be blaming others. They be blaming Mills, blaming Rise, Taj, Harvey Bay. It's you. It's not them. If you can't defend it, you shouldn't have it. And, you know, honors to Brother Grant Shute for saying that, you know, you have to study for a certain amount of time in order to get the card. That's great because, you know, like if we're looking at what they call the Osirian mystery schools, or the so-called ancient Egyptian mystery schools, they had to study longer than that to get something. 30 years, 40 years to get an ID or to get a title or to be recognized. So these guys happen to have 1 year and they're crying, man, this is about studying. This is about knowing yourself. And if you can't defend it, you shouldn't have it. So, yeah. So, good demo.
Yes, Lord. Oh, and Brother L, I know you had, could you, before we get near closing out, could you elaborate on the 2 videos? The videos that you recently put up.
Yeah, true indeed, more. So I had put up a video, 2 videos rather, because I had done a video. Well, two videos, but there's one video in particular that I had done with these guys, or with this one guy called the Fly Guys Podcast. So I guess when they actually stream the video live, they use a third party, which is Crumb TV, right? So they use Crumb TV when they're streaming the Fly Guys Podcast. Which the Fly Guys Podcast is his brother named Sekou Varner. So basically, just real quick, I reached out to the Fly Guys Podcast because I seen some of their work. I seen some of the audio, the video of a podcast that they had done where they was talking with a brother about economics and how that could help us in the community. And then, of course, I've seen the video where they were speaking on a practicing Moorish American Muslim who was penalized for something that he had said publicly about the LGBT community. So I seen his video. So I reached out to the Fly Guys Podcast to talk about my debate with Young Pharaoh, how the debate came about, what led up to the debate, who I am, how long I've been in the truth and the science, what my occupation is, what I offer as far as what my contribution is, how I'm raising awareness, which is my music products, amongst other things. So this is what I reached out to the Fly Guys Podcast and said. So long story quick, they responded. They set up a platform where to be myself, the host, another brother. And then it just went south. It just went sour because they didn't give me full disclosure. They didn't send me all of the questions that would be asked. So I was blindsided. Then they had an individual on there who was calling himself Jacoby Ponder, which I don't really have nothing against him, but you could tell that they set it up like the adversary process where it would be me against him and where we would be arguing. But because I was in my high, it didn't go that way. And then they throwing up signs on the video of the audio podcast with the six and the horns and all of that, whatever. But so they was just trying to bring confusion about when there really wasn't none. And then so that happened. So then they titled the podcast "Lies My Teacher Taught Me" or "Law." So I felt like that was a slight against Prophet Noble Drew Ali. When I told you I want to talk about the debate with Pharaoh, who I am, how the debate came about, what I represent, etc. Right? So they did that. I didn't say nothing now. Mind you, I'm on my high. I'm just dealing with the information. I want the people to have the information, and I'm not addressing the sidebar issues because I don't want to muddy the waters and have them say, "No more, you out of here. No more Moors on here." Because they love to say that. They love to shut us out. No Moors, get out of here. And we know they be doing that because our information is high explosive. So I was, so I kept my composure. I didn't, want to muddy the water. So then the straw that broke the camel's back was when they had already put the visual up of the audio, which is the podcast on the Fly Guys Podcast. This Crumb TV clown had asked me to send him a thumbnail picture for the YouTube broadcast. So I sent him a picture that I liked. So instead of him using that picture, he goes to my social media and grabs another picture and then puts that up. So I email him and say, "Well, where did you get that picture from? That's not what I sent you." So then it became, "Well, this is about algorithm, time is money. You would have took too long, so I just used what I wanted to use." So then I said, "Well, then why didn't you do that?" Right. So then I said, "Well, why didn't you do that in the first place? Why would you ask me for something, not knowing if you're going to use it? Why didn't you just go and use whatever you wanted to use?" And then from there, it became, I did something for you for free. I promoted you for free on the strength of the Fly Guys Podcast and Sekou Varner. I'm Crumb TV. I'm a different entity. I did something for you for free. I don't normally do that. So I was like, pause. Don't talk to me. Right, thanks. So I was like, pause. Don't talk to me like I'm some Negro asking you for something for nothing. Because only a Negro wants something for nothing. That ain't me. So don't talk to me like that after the fact. If this was about finance and you promoting me, which you didn't promote me, but if this was about that, then you should have said that from the beginning. And then I'll pay like our way. I'll provide finance like our way, which me, you, and Cujo know that you don't pay for nothing no more because true money is gold and silver coin. And that was overthrown. So we know that you're just transferring debt. It's a debt note. But speaking in layman's terms for the dummies, you know, like I told him, I'll pay like our way. But don't tell me after the fact like I'm some bum that's asking for a freebie from me.
A favor, yeah.
So he came back and was like, yo, you're more worried about this than me. You're not important. And I just went 100. Like, yo, you're a clown. You're a more hater. You was unprepared. Don't come to me in the 11th hour asking for a thumbnail picture. And then when you can't crop it right, that's what you claim, which that probably was a lie. But when you can't crop it right, you want to blame it on me and say, well, I couldn't use that one, so I go to your social media and violate you and use what I want because you're me. And I basically told him, you should have established that from the beginning.
Straight.
Don't come at the last minute because your ish ain't right, and then you want to put it on me. So then, you know, he took the video down. He was like, I'm taking the video down. I don't like you. I don't like Lord. So then, the brother right, fact. So the brother who I did the audio with was apologizing for him and was like, he's gonna put the audio back up. I apologize. But basically what they've done is they did some shady stuff, and I was trying to look past it. Because what I'm concerned about is people and the information. Like, I'm not really about the politics. You know what I'm saying? But they titled the video Lies My Teacher Taught, or no, like I told y'all, slightly overdue on me. They give me full disclosure, set me up to have an argument with another brother who ain't really in Morris science, pushing Blue House masonry, but I didn't take the bait. I was cordial with him because it ain't about me or him, it's about the people.
Right.
It's mad at that, and then it was just a progression. And it reached this climax, and I just went 100 on this Crumb TV clown. And then, after our emails back and forth when I was addressing him, he did a video just recently, like earlier today, like 8 or 9 hours ago, with this Moor named Kennick Ill out of Virginia, where he was trying to play us against each other, like showing all of Kennick Ill's achievements and awards and accolades for all of the stuff that he's done in the community.
Right.
And my thing was awards don't make or break you. It don't say what you've done or what you haven't done, because you got brothers out here doing the work that don't have awards, like myself, like Brother Cujo, like Brother Yusef. So awards, everything doesn't hang upon it. But I also was saying, we're very proud of the brother Kennick Ill. We're not at odds with him. We're not against him. Man finds himself where he can solve his problems best. You know, like, I'm where I can solve my problems best. Cujo is where he can solve his problems best. You, brother Yusef, same thing. And then I was also saying that no man is an island. Every living thing is bound by cords. So we're all bound. Yeah. I'm doing my part where I am. Brother Grand Sheik is doing his part where he is. You, Brother Yusef, are doing your part. And even Brother Kennick Ill. Yeah. We're not against him. We love him. We want to see him prosper because he represents us and we represent him. So this is essentially what I was saying. But when you're dealing with these makers, and this is what I told him on his platform, you know, like you're saying Islam in the beginning of the video on your platform, Club TV, You're saying Hotep and peace, but you're not living that.
Yeah.
You're not the non-verbal demonstration of that. You're not living the life. Be the message that you bring. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Be that clean glass. Be the message. And he's not. He's just pointing away while doing devilishment, while being the mischief maker. And I had addressed all of that. But what he was trying to do was he wanted to see me and this brother from Virginia, Kenny Hill, at odds. And that's retarded. That is foolishness. You know, we are nobles. I'm an upstanding member of society. I recognize Kenny as my kin, as my brother. I'm proud of the work that he's doing because I'm doing the same work here where I am. Even for our people who are under the notion that they're citizens of the USA and don't know that this is their land. You can't give that to everybody. So you got to meet them where they are. So I fellowship with all men, those that sleeping and those that's in the know, like us, like myself, like you, brother Yusef and Cujo. And, you know, every now and again you get these clowns, man, and these are the games that they try to play. And then we got to go and clean up the garbage. And that's just what it became. That's why I was doing videos. That's why I was responding to what he was saying. And of course, he ain't answering my emails and all of that. I can understand when you're blocking. But
they like the block. They like the block game.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna ask both of you this. We can probably take this one and then we'll close out. Somebody in the chat was asking how, and both of you could answer this. How are you supposed to study? No emotion, pure honesty. I'm just confused with all due sincerity. How are you supposed to study?
Islam, real quick, because it was crazy is I was listening to William Cooper, right, and somebody asked him the same question: how do I study? And he said, just pick up. Well, the first, all right, because studying is just start with the truth. Just start looking for the truth, because you can start anywhere. You know, you can start anywhere, anywhere. I don't even just start reading, studying. Every word that is said, look it up in a dictionary, unabridged dictionary, etymology dictionary. Look it up in different languages, whatever. But you got to start. You got to start just studying, just picking up books, questioning everything, researching everything, fact checking everything. But what William Cooper told him was just read. Just start reading, because we already know we're not. But when you're reading, get your weapons, get your dictionaries right next to you, so you can cross-reference and check everything. Like the Grand Sheik's library, when he goes live, well, back in the day when he used to go live, I used to see all his books behind him and was like, man, I gotta get like that. I gotta get like that. I gotta have a library like that. You know, like. But it took years to get it. You know, now I have over 70 dictionaries. You know what I mean? Like, I collect dictionaries crazy because I want to know what words mean. But I love studying. You know, that's a good question too. I like that question. But just reading all day, I read all day constantly. Even when I'm not reading, I'm walking around outside. Because of the symbols that I've learned studying books, I'm still studying, because I'm like, oh, I'm really in Morocco. Like, I can see all the Moorish architecture around me, because now you know that the arches and all the Moorish architecture, what it is, because you can just research it. And then you walk outside and you're like, wow, I'm still here. Like, yep, still here in Morocco. It takes studying. It takes studying. And what I read in one of my dictionaries, I forgot which one it was, the definition of studying in that book was the embodiment of truth. That's what they said that the definition of studying was the embodiment of truth. So if you're looking for the truth, you're studying. I yield the floor. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. True indeed. True indeed. And to camel walk with what my dear brother stated, yeah, like I agree with him. It's about studying, reading, and from my personal experience, what I've experienced personally is a lot of times, you know, when you're reading something totally unrelated to what the topic is that, you know, you may subscribe to, like whatever your school of thought is, a lot of times when you read something that's totally unrelated to that, you'll see something in that unrelated work that relates to what your school of thought is or what your field is, and then you cross-reference, and then boom. Before you know it, you got a whole outline and you got a whole half a notebook of notes. So like the brother said, it's about studying, just study. Like for example, like I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about. Like currently I'm reading this book by an author, her name is Doris Kearns Goodwin. And the name of the book is called The Fitzgeralds and the Kennedys. So we all know it's about John F. Kennedy, his father, Joe Kennedy, and all of the Kennedy siblings. And I'm also reading, I'm also reading another book about the Crimean War, right? Which the Crimean War was a war between Russia and Turkey. And it's about Russia trying to take over the Ottoman Turkish Empire just prior to World War I in the 1870s. And we know ultimately during World War I, Germany, the French, and the English invaded the former Ottoman Empire and they turned it into what you see now. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, but all of that is the former Ottoman Empire. And the Prophet talked about that. And he talked about the Ottoman Turks are the true protectors, right, of the Islamic creed, UTC. So Major Ali was even giving you that history. But when I'm reading this book, The Fitzgeralds and the Kennedys, it goes into World War I and why it happened, World War II and why it happened. So this book that's totally unrelated to the Crimean War book, they meet at some point. So it's like the brother said, just study and you'll find that things that you think aren't related are actually related and connected, and you just essentially have to connect the dots. And it's about doing your due diligence, being steadfast, being motivated. Don't be discouraged, and don't let these leader guys discourage you. Like there's a guy in Temple number 11. I'm not gonna say his name, but sometimes when I share with him what I'm doing currently, some of what I'm studying. And what I'm doing is always discouraging. Don't do that. No, don't do this. Come to the temple more. Sit down. Sit down. Behave yourself. But really, what he's saying is not really what it is. Essentially, what he's saying is, you know, be a slave to us. Don't get too much knowledge. Don't get above us. But really, the bottom line is the real ones that's really putting it in, that's really sincere, and that's really about the people, ain't in the temple. I don't want to say that, but I mean, like, you might as well should have stayed in Christianity if you want, you know, if you don't go that route. So, and with that, I yield back. Islam, most.
Islam. And M13, your thing's gonna have us out here for another hour or something. So what I want you to do is send that question to canaanlandguide@gmail.com, and in our next live, we'll address that question.
But one thing too,
yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Brother Grand Sheik, I want to say too, I want to answer the person's question when they ask, "What's a study?" And I
Go ahead, Mark.
whatever you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
Study everything. Study whatever you can get your hands on, whatever interests you, because that's what the European does. And you'll see that it will come full circle. So study it all, but especially study what these fraud religious leader guys say to stay away from. Because 9 times out of 10, if they're telling you to stay away from it, then they're studying it. So just study, period. But start with the prophet, start with the Constitution, which is the contract that you live under, and just kind of branch out from there. The Spirit will guide you. You'll know. Don't think about it too much, and just go with your higher self, and you'll know. But it's about liberation, and it's about standing on the square and knowing who your ancient foremothers and forefathers were, and knowing that you are the question and the answer. And with that, I yield.
That's love.
Just one last thing, Grand Sheik, and I'm done. I'm done. I know because this is a great class. Just to add on real quick, just to show the importance of studying. I remember when I came into the information, when I first heard about this, one of the things that stuck with me, now is, when you look up Black Law Dictionary, a free white person is Moorish inhabitants. It does not mean Caucasian race. I know that now by heart. But when I first came into the information and I watched the video and they said that, like, oh, we're the real white man. Like, we're the real white people and stuff like that. When I heard that, the level I was at, first coming into the information, this is the importance of studying. I was literally researching, Googling, Black people are really white people. That's where my mind was at. I'm telling you, that's what I'll be, like when the Grand Sheik said earlier, 5 years. People want their ID in 2 months when they first just found out. When I first came into the information, I used to research Black people are the real white people. Like, that's just raw. It was just raw with my brain. And I'm thinking I'm right. And I'm wondering, I'm like, man, these guys is lying. I thought he said that we were the right people. Like, literally. Because I couldn't find nothing saying Black people are the real white people.
Nothing's coming up. Why is nothing coming up? They're lying. Nothing's coming up. They're lying.
They're lying.
No, you're dumb.
Well, because I was ignorant, not studying. Once you start studying, it opens your mind up to everything. Everything. Now, everything. Even researching differently. Learning to now I know how to use this Google thing. So when I research something, I type in more. I don't just click the search engine. I look it up in the books part. Now you're at this level. You know what I mean? Like, because now you're studying. Your mind is opening up to whole new levels. Whole new levels. That's right, man. Stuff that I just told you. I thought, why isn't it saying Black people are the real white people? I'm telling you. Your mind studying, it just opens up to everything. You see it all. Fact. Once you start studying. Fact. See it all.
And then also too,
whole another level.
Also too, with regard to studying, there's Moors who we know cured their illiteracy by studying. There's Moors who were illiterate as Negro, black, colored. Now there are more. Now they know law terms and etymology and all this. They could write letters now. They're supposed to be dumb. And all they did was started studying. I don't know how to read. Well, start with the one line. Start with, don't even go to a sentence yet. Just do the first line.
Yes.
Letter for letter.
Yep.
Sound it out. And then go look it up. And then sound out all those stuff and the definition of what's telling you. And your ass will learn to read. Don't worry about illiterate. Because a mind on melanin could do everything. A mind on melanin could do any and everything.
facts more.
Yep.
And then to add to that too, to add to what the brother Yusef was saying when he talked about, and I'm paraphrasing, when he talked about one's trying to be so fast about it, thinking that it's a microwave process. Like I had people run up on me in the street, say, I need an ID, I got a court case, I need you to help me, where do I get a fare? And I'm like, whoa. Slow down, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna be mad at me for not warning you.
Isn't that crazy? Full-blown mad and shit.
The more I'm locked up because it is 80 more Frederick Jones here. No, slow down. And like a brother Grand Sheik said, you should be studying for at least a year. I think that he used to say that. And this is what I tell people. Study, slow down, sit down. Don't be all in the European space like you know something already. Study. Be passionate about it. Be interested. If you ain't interested, leave it alone. And what happens is a lot of them wait till they get a criminal case, and they want to come pushing and demonstrating Moorish, and their heart ain't in it, and then they get hurt.
Yep.
So I tell them, slow down, study. If your heart is there, the higher self will guide you. And if it's right, when the time is right, it'll be right. It'll be revealed to you. And see, this is about having good intent. This is about being in the high. And I think Brother Grand Sheik mentioned that. I think you mentioned that too, Brother Yusef. And, you can't, there's a saying that goes, you can't cheat the grind. The divine presence here knows. They know, like, it knows what's up. And the divine presence is you. You at that. Allah and man is one. The Prophet talked about that. So you can't cheat it. So be genuine, because if you're disingenuous, you're going to hurt yourself. Yeah. And this is what I tell you. Study.
That's why the Prophet said,
sit down.
That's why the Prophet said, it's a divine and national movement. That's a divine first. This is a divine and national movement. If you're not divine, your national principles ain't going to work. You got to come in divine.
Mm-hmm. That divine will beat your ass.
You can't be a Negro in this, and you're low constantly trying to use this, thinking that it has saving power. Because the saving power is in you living the 5 divine principles. You got to be in the high. Not only that, this is about the demonstration. What are your thoughts like? How are you receiving the teachings? How are you giving back? And then, there was a sister that I used to deal with. She was from Virginia, and she was having a situation where she was, which I already knew she was unconscious. But she asked me to come to her aid. She was asking me for documents, and she was explaining her situation to me. So I sent her a template that would remedy her problem as far as civil law goes. So I sent her a template and was like, listen, these are the instructions. This is what you got to do. You take, everywhere where you see my name, change it. This is the federal,
Right.
This is the UFC that I use for my particular matter. So basically, I was just explaining to her how she would proceed as a, what the court would call a pro se petitioner or plaintiff, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, when she told me that the information I was giving her was too much, it's too much. I don't want to go through all of it. So that just goes to show you that our people don't, for the most part, don't like studying. We're lazy, brother.
They want to
we don't want to be we don't want to be the embodiment of the higher self. Like with this European, it's demonstrated in his orders. When you become an ascended master, you're 32nd, 33rd degree, a sovereign grand inspector general. That's us. That's you that he's imitating. So, and I was just telling her, if it means that much to you, then you'll dig deep and get it done. Like, I got it done. So, yeah, you know. So you just got to want it, man. You know, you got to want it, but the information is real. It's not fake. The prophet is the real deal. Taj is the real deal. Moving in the spirit of the prophet. Brother Grand Sheik Kudo, real deal. Brother Yusef. And it's like, you know, you get those that's against us, against Taj, against the prophet, against Cujo. They want the people to remain asleep. Because it's a business for them. And it ain't about liberation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
European lady told me that ignorance is big business. I said, wow.
Facts. Facts.
Wow. It was the scariest thing I ever heard in my life. It gave me goosebumps. I was like, I don't even care about human trafficking. Human trafficking ain't got nothing on that. Nothing.
Nothing on it. Nothing on it, brother. We are the question and the answer. Like Nas had a song, I forget the album, but he was like, you are the question and the answer. Then he had a joint where he was saying, where he mentioned Noble Drew Ali. He was like, you know, at one point we was thinking like the colonists until Noble Drew Ali started dropping it.
Yeah.
Facts. And then, just recently, I forget the name of the album, but the brother did an album of Kanye West, and you should see the shirts that they came up with.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got everything on the charter on the shirts. The pyramid with the eye, the justice sword.
Yeah.
So you know, these brothers know what's up, man. But the secret is us. We gotta live it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta live it. And sadly, it's not many of us. You know?
Islam. Peace and love to all Moors, wherever you're at. You already know. We hold it up for you. You already know. All for you. We don't do this we're not showing this unity with Moors, wherever they're at. Just getting together to build with other Moors, wherever they're at. You know, and there's no unity. We know that there's unity. So peace and love to the Moors on the platform assisted today. Islam to all the chat Moors and any Moor who's going to see this or hear this. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Moors, you got any closeouts and any plugs? I know you got some plugs, brother L.
Islam to the Moors in the chat. Islam to the brother for coming on the Canaanland Moors platform and giving a great demonstration tonight. Give thanks to the Grand Sheik for having the platform and all the Moors in Canaanland. And give thanks to the mothers and honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Yeah, Islam. High honors to Brother Grand Sheik, our Brother Grand Sheik Cujo Otto Ill. Because if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have a nationality card right now to this day in 2020. And I came in 2009. So if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't even have a card the way these Grand Sheiks be playing politics. So high honors and acknowledgments to Brother Grand Sheik Cujo Otto Ill. And to the Canaanland Moors, the only platform that I feel comfortable on. Because these other Moors are suspect. So honor to that. And honors to everybody in the chat. You know, honors to people or to other Moors from Canaanland that accept me as family. I appreciate them. And just keep tuning into Canaanland, man. You know, Brother Grand Sheik, Brother Yusef, I'm Frederick Jones Ill. Link with me and reach out to me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as Moorish Adept. So it's Moorish_Adept. I'm on social media, Facebook as Frederick Jones Ill. I got projects up on iTunes. I ain't going to name all of them, but go to iTunes or go to Google. Type in Frederick Jones Ill on iTunes. And we just living the life, man. It's about liberation. We ain't really trying to, we ain't trying to Joel Osteen and Creflo Dollar with it. I ain't trying to have 5 jets and all of that.
Stadium church.
And we just want to live a good life, man. Live a good life. Give back to the people, and just link in. It's a struggle, but we just doing the work, man. We're moving in the spirit of the redeemers, the Prophet Muhammad, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Confucius, etc., Prophet Noble Drew Ali, all those that came and moved in the spirit of the redeemers. And we know Brother Cujo's moving like that, Brother Yusef, and it's always an honor every time we link up. So, and with that, I yield the floor. So.
This is the fun part right here.
Yep.
This is the fun part. We should enjoy this. Because when the Moors get back on top, the hard part is going to be to stay on top.
For real.
So we enjoying this right now.
Right.
We enjoying it right now. Yeah. This is the fun part. We in the fun part. I feel bad for the Moors. They got to keep us on top because they're going to have to do some work. They're going to have to do some work. This is the fun part.
Sure.
This is the fun part. It's a good time to be a Moor.
Yeah.
Facts.
Islam to all. You already know. Peace and love, and expect something next few days. Expect something. Because you already know how we do. Peace and love to all the Moors. Islam.
Brother Cujo, Islam.
Yeah, man. Yeah, more. Yeah, man.
Islam. One thing that I wanted to say that I forgot that I just thought of. If I could have a few,
yeah, more. Go ahead.
One thing that I wanted to say too, relative to this Crumb TV clown, where he was trying to say indirectly that I'm cloud chasing, I'm an internet whore, and I don't have all of the awards and the accolades of a Kenny Hill, right? Which I don't have no gripes with brother Kenny Hill. I'm not against him, but one thing that I wanted them to know, which I was saying, was I came into this in 2009. I was quiet for 10 years. Like, I didn't have the debate with Pharaoh until 2019.
Yeah.
So for 10 years, I was humble, quiet, studying, being a student of Taj Tariq Bey, a student of Grand Sheikh Cujo Otto Ill, a student of C. Freeman Ill, a student of Hakeem Bey. And me and Cujo did something on the barter system where I sent him some shirts. He sent me Hakeem Bey DVDs. And that was like in 2013.
Yeah.
So I've been a student for a while before I spoke. I didn't just come on the internet after having this information for a week. But this is how they try to paint you. As an internet more. And not that being on the internet is bad, because the internet is how we communicate now. If social media was around during the time of the Prophet, this is what they would be using. So they try to defame and try to make the internet look like it's something taboo. But really what they're saying is, because of the internet, we can't fleece the people like we used to. But anyway, like, I've been quiet for 10 years, because I came into this in 2009. Didn't get a card until 2014, thanks to Cujo, because I probably wouldn't have one if it wasn't for him. And it was my time. I did my time. I was humble. I was a student. And it was time to stand up. But instead of them coming to you directly and finding out who you are, doing their research, their whole thing is slander. So I just want the people to know how long I've been humbling. And I'm not a front runner. I don't sell packages. I'm not trying to be Grand Sheiky guy, like Todd say, leader guy. You gotta see me. Sincere in this, and I honor and respect, and I pay homage to those that helped me get to where I am, which is Brother Cujo and you, Brother Yusef. And it's always, it's always a good thing every time. So I just wanted to say that. Islam.
Peace, more.
Give thanks, more. Islam.
Give thanks. Islam, Moors. Peace and love. Honors to the Prophet. All praise due to Allah, which is mother. Islam.
Islam.